We have a little different project in mind for you today. We're actually going to go visit a Yanmar dealer.
I'm not sure about this.
Christy's excited about this because we're going to look maybe at a new tractor. We thought maybe on the way it'd be good to talk about some of the items you look for when you're choosing a tractor. One thing that's different between tractors and, say, cars or trucks or something like that is you need a good relationship with your dealer. When you buy a car or a truck, there will be a dealer somewhere near you. And you know what? We've had several cars for years and years and years and never even returned to a dealer ever.
Yeah.
But that likely won't be the case for a tractor. Most likely you'll need some dealer support. Sometimes you'll need some education from your dealer. Sometimes you'll need parts, and sometimes you may need them to either come out and look at your tractor or to take your tractor to their dealership and do some more detailed service. There's just a lot of complexity in these little tractors, and dealer maintenance and dealer interaction is just a very important part of it. So that breaks down in a couple of areas. First, it's nice to have a dealer that's close to you. That's one thing we don't have right here. This dealer that we're going to today, I think, is almost an hour from our house. So it's the nearest Yanmar dealer, and we wanted to have a look at the Yanmar tractors. And we'll just let you know up front that puts the Yanmar at a bit of a disadvantage for us. Even if we love this tractor, we will certainly have to consider that distance to the dealer before we would make such a purchase. Another aspect you have to consider with the dealer is the longevity of the dealer. You want a dealer that's going to be around for years and years and years, because no matter which brand tractor you buy, you expect it to last for a long time. How they are to deal with, some personal aspects there. So we'll take notice of those two things on our visit. Now, many of you have asked what size or what type of tractor we might be looking for a second tractor. We have some idea in mind. We don't want another subcompact tractor, but at the same time, we don't want a tractor that is so big that we can't navigate at all in someone's yard or in some tight spaces that we might find ourselves in. We do want something big enough to handle some larger attachments, some more powerful attachments. It'd be nice to have some better hydraulic flow and some better hydraulic lift height, lift capacities, things like that, such that it's significantly different than the subcompact tractor.
Maybe a little taller to get you out of the same plane as the bush hog.
Yeah, hey, that'd be good.
It's one of your least favorite things with Johnny because you're right down in the weeds.
That's right, that is a key feature. Of course, I guess we could get a cab.
What?
Then I wouldn't have to worry about it.
You want to be so pampered.
Yeah. Actually, that's a difficult choice for us. There's a few reasons why that's difficult. First of all, for most of you viewers, when you're getting up into the 45 horsepower tractors or maybe even smaller, I think a cab is something you really need to consider. They're much more comfortable than riding outside. Now, having said that, we may not get a cab, and that's for some reasons that are particular to us. First, we're on and off the tractor a lot on a lot of our projects. On and off, on and off. We do a lot of communication. Hey, move that thing over there, or, why don't you bring the tractor closer? And a lot of communication from off the tractor to on, things like that. And the other aspect is one of our videos. We really think that it would be a lot harder to get that kind of interactivity with the videos with a cab tractor. Now, obviously, we could put a camera inside and I could do some monologues like I've seen some folks do inside tractor cabs. But we really like the interaction between ourselves as well as oftentimes with the customer.
Right.
And I just feel like that a cab might provide a little bit of distance between that and make that interaction more difficult.
Yeah.
So Yanmar has two tractors that we'd like to take a look at it. They have one that's called a 235, and I believe that's roughly 35 horsepower, and I believe it corresponds to the 2 Series of the Deere line. So somewhere between 32 to 38 horsepower is where the large frame 2 Series is. I think this 235 is going to be right there between them. Seems like roughly the same size, roughly the same lifting capacities and things like that as the 2 Series. The other tractor that we might be looking at is the 347.
Is that like a 3 Series?
Well, you would think so, because it's got a 3 in the first digit, right? And the other one had a 2 in the first.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's closer to a 4 Series.
Oh.
It's got a 4-cylinder engine, whereas the Deere 3 Series has a 3-cylinder, and the Deere 4 Series goes up to the 4-cylinder. It's wider than the 3 Series by a good bit. It's heavier. Seems like the weight is more comparable to, say, a 4044R or 4044M, or maybe even a 4052M or R or whatever.
You know I can't remember all these numbers anyway, right?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get you all messed up with numbers so that when I show you
the numbers of the cost, and I'm still confused.
Yeah, and you just kind of say, oh, yeah, whatever you think, Tim. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. It'll probably work, unfortunately.
So there's an approach with the finance committee. You better try that. So we're a little concerned that the 235 won't be enough larger than Johnny from the capacity standpoint to be exactly what we wanted, and we're concerned that the 347 will be too large physically for what we're looking for. But we're going to take a look today. We'll take you along. Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
This is the 235. Nice little compact tractor. Nice features. 3-speed range, hydrostatic, tilt wheel. Got the auto throttle.
It does have a tilt wheel. That's nice.
Yeah. Front and rear PTO.
Position control on the 3-point hitch. The joystick is back here rather than up on the loader.
Right. Yanmar builds the entire tractor.
Right.
The ROPS does fold over.
It's cold, Christy. It's too cold to buy a tractor.
It's April. It shouldn't be cold and snowing.
Hey, what's this little glass here? This plexiglass. I've never seen anything like
windscreen.
that. It's not helping with the wind today.
No, it's more for stuff going up off the tires. They do have the skid loader quick attachments for the front, so you can drop the bucket pretty quick, pick up pallet forks.
Yeah, that's a good feature.
Get them with R4 tires, which is the industrial type, or you can get the R1 tires, ag type on them. And I think you can even get turf tires, although I don't have those on my price list.
Okay. What's the deal with the gold wheels? Why do
Just
they
some bling.
Okay.
Just some Yanmar bling. They're also a 2-pin quick detach on the loader, so you have to have them where you can quickly, with the joystick back there, you have to have them down there where you can do them quick.
Okay, so you remove this pin.
Pin on each side, and you roll
It's
the
got a
jack
self-parking
down.
stand.
Yeah, and then jack itself down, and then you just take the pressure off. After the pins are out, you lift it up, pop your hydraulics, and just back right out from under it.
Okay. What's something like this sell for?
Oh, somewhere less than $1 million, more than 20,000. But they do have a 5-year, 2,500-hour powertrain warranty. That's the engine, transmission, both axles.
Okay.
And it's 2-year, 2,000 hour, I think, on the rest of the tractor. And any of the implements you put on it that are Yanmar branded are 1 year. That's a 424.
It's still a 25 horse.
It's 24. The powertrain, the tractor is exactly the same. 424's got bigger wheels and tires.
Okay.
It'll give you a little bit better ride. That's a 235 plus. Bigger horsepower, suspension seat, a little bit nicer platform, nice aluminum steps. I mean, it's just a dolled up. It's 347. You also get this on a 59 horse. This one's 47 horse. It's bigger wheels and tires, bigger frame.
Has it got a 2-speed hydrostat or a
3.
3? Okay. And it's got individual brakes.
You guys picked an awful cold April day to come out looking at tractors.
How does this work?
That's your go pedal.
How about backwards?
You just shuttle shift up here.
Okay, so
Forward,
it's still,
reverse.
is it hydrostat or
It's
is this
hydrostat, but it's got shuttle shift on it. So you select your range, you select your engine speed. Well, actually, you don't even have to speed it up on this one, because when you go, it speeds it up on its own.
I should have put my coveralls on, Christy. I'd have been a lot more, looking at a lot more details. You know, all the Yanmar tractors start really easy. All the Yanmar engines, they always start right up. nice for the pallet racks. And then here's a button for third function.
Yeah, one of them ground speed. You can set it for PTO, like for a rotor tiller or for a cutter, to go full speed, and then flip the switch over to the other one, and you can set your ground speed down real slow. So even though your pedal's all the way down, you're only creeping.
Okay.
What it has to.
So that way you don't have to try to hold your foot at some halfway.
And that way you get a nice even cutter, nice even chill.
Yeah, okay. Hey Christy, look here at these final drives, how they're done. I think this is quite unique to me. I'm not used to seeing anything quite like this. See the
this one comes with dual rear remotes on it.
dual remotes he's talking about here. These final drives, though, move the whole rear back from the axle. That's an odd.
Well, a lot of the companies do that now. Gives them a shorter wheelbase, or a longer wheelbase on a shorter frame. Cases do the same thing.
Okay.
They're mid-range ones do that. They call them. They're not a straight axle. They call them tandem axle, I think, or something like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, these are nice little tractors. And one like this is going to run you around 35, 36, something like that, with the front end loader on it.
This looks a little bit physically bigger than what I think I want. I was kind of thinking along the lines of the Deere 3 Series, which I think this is a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, the 3 Series probably would match up closer to 235s than it would the 347s.
Christy, it was so cold at the Yanmar dealer that it was hard to look at too much detail.
Yeah.
So as we were saying earlier, the distance to the dealer already put the Yanmar at a disadvantage for us personally. Again, that has nothing to do with the Yanmar tractor. And if you have a Yanmar dealer right next to you, then that disadvantage doesn't apply to you. That's why for every individual, the tractor purchase may be, have a different answer. We saw that the 235 was a little bit smaller than what we'd like, and the 347 was a little bit bigger than we'd like. So not necessarily the perfect size for what we were looking for either. Really liked the features on the 347. It had 2 rear remote hydraulic outlets. It had a pretty nice seat. It is a mechanical seat, not an air seat, but it's a very nice seat. Both of them had the quick attach loader, skid steer quick attach, which is very important to me to have some sort of a quick attach. As I want to be able to put forks on, I want to be able to maybe put a grapple on, things like that. So I've got to have some sort of a loader quick attach on any piece of equipment that I've got. Now when you're evaluating the dealer itself, what are some things to evaluate? We talked about the distance, how far it is from your house, that's a key point. But there's other things too. How long has the dealer been carrying this particular brand? Is this a new brand to them? Why did they pick it up? When did they pick it up? Are there other dealerships in the area if the dealer drops this brand? Or for whatever reason you can't deal with that dealer anymore? How many are they selling? Are they selling 1 or 2 units a month? Are they selling 10 units a month? You can tell some of that by seeing their excitement about the brand, seeing the number that they have on the lot, how long they've sat there on the lot. Some of this stuff you can pick up just by looking around with a little bit of investigative thinking. How large is their service facility? Do you see other folks coming into their service facility while you're there? Do you see people at the parts counter? Is there just a lot of activity going on at the dealership, or does it appear to be kind of a hole in the wall?
I think those are good. Those are things I wouldn't have thought of, right? For myself, going into a dealership, I wouldn't have thought that related to the tractor itself and the experience that you'll get owning that particular tractor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You've got an ongoing relationship with that dealer. So it's very important that you find one that you feel like you can deal with. Now, we've talked in some other videos about access to parts, access to just information about your tractors. Most of the major brands have online parts breakdowns. For instance, John Deere, Kubota, Case, New Holland, all of those brands will have online parts manuals where you can go in and see every part, a total part breakdown of your tractor and of any tractor that's made in the last 25, 30, maybe even more years. I know in the case of Deere, you can look at parts breakdowns for equipment way back in the 30s and 40s.
Wow. You mean people still have tractors from way back then?
Yeah, tractors, plows, any sort of attachment that was made by Deere. If you know the model number, you can find the part breakdown for that piece of equipment. Nobody's promising that you can buy every part from any historical piece of equipment, but there's value in just having the parts breakdown.
Number, yeah.
Sometimes you can, from the part number, you can learn something. Sometimes you can learn how something was constructed, how it's built, how it's put together, things like that. So check to see if the brand you're looking for has some sort of an online parts breakdown parts manual. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the visit to the Yanmar dealer and get to see the Yanmar tractors. We didn't really get to drive them around so much because it was just too cold, but we did get to sit on them and play with the loader a little bit.
I noticed they had a chain, well, not really a chain, but a security rope on them to keep them from being stolen.
Yeah, a cable.
Cable.
Running through all of them. Well, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. It's snowing right by Lucas Oil Stadium.
It's April. It should not be snowing.